So that four-star wide receiver James Johnson I talked about pretty recently from the state of Georgia. Looks like he committed to USC the other day, which is nice. Obviously still pretty good player from the state of Georgia, even though some places they have him like as a three-star as well. But he's listed as a four-star in some other places too because he was considered an athlete. Could play both sides of the ball. I think he played corner, but looks like he is going to be committing to USC as a wide receiver. So they missed out on Phillip Bell last week, as I mentioned. I think he chose Ohio State over them, and I forget the next guy after that, Jerome Miles, is in October, so we'll wait and see where he ends up, but at least they're able to get at least one of these guys pretty recently. And the Chargers the other day extended their kicker Cameron Dicker on a 4-year, $22 million extension, and I think that's like with $12.5 million guaranteed, so that's pretty good for him, especially being undrafted out of Texas a couple years ago, getting let go by a couple teams, and the Chargers picking him up, and him all of a sudden becoming one of their better kickers in their recent history. So definitely one of the better kickers I've seen while being a Chargers fan since the early 2000s. So yeah, it's definitely very excited and happy they were able to get a deal done with their kicker. And over the weekend, Duke football did beat Elon 26-3, which was cool to see. Malik Murphy had 291 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. The defense stepped up big, had 8 sacks, which is the most since 2019, I believe, and then 16 tackles for loss, which is the most since 2007. So yeah, they definitely showed out defensively. Obviously, they're playing against a Division II school, so they're supposed to, and kind of got a little bit worried because I think it was like 10-3, something like that. It was a pretty close game at halftime. Duke had not put up any more points, but then they were able to put up a bunch of points in the second half, which was good to see. At least they took control, and expecting a little bit more from Malik Murphy. Some of his throws were a little bit off, and I thought he might have be able to take off a bit more, but he seems more like a pocket passer in the end, so I guess he won't be taking off that much. But definitely a whole bunch of new guys that came in and transferred, especially on that offensive line. They did pretty well. There are a couple of miscues here and there, but hopefully they will be able to shore that up this week against Northwestern. And over the weekend, I was finally able to do my pretty much family-related fantasy football drafts. At the end, Yahoo gave me a grade of A-, which usually doesn't happen. I'm usually C or below, and I still end up in the Final Four, at least in the playoffs, so we'll see how this season ends up going. But they said I would dominate, apparently having like a 12-3 record along with a couple other teams, so I guess that's why they feel like I can dominate this year with my team, which is still a pretty good team, I think. I ended up getting as my main quarterback Lamar Jackson, which is nice, first time having him. Had Justin Jefferson with my first pick, the wide receiver from Minnesota. Kyron Williams, my second pick from the Rams, the running back. Josh Jacobs, the Green Bay running back. Dalton Kincaid, the tight end from Buffalo. Singletary, the running back from the New York Giants. Jerome Ford, the running back from the Cleveland Browns. And Jaden Reed, a wide receiver from the Green Bay Packers. Took a chance on him because kind of like throw a dart in that wide receiver pass catching room and see who ends up sticking, because I think everybody's going to get the ball. But looking to see how this goes. A lot of new people that I haven't had. A couple of guys I've had here and there. I think I had the Rams kicker as well, Joshua Carty, who is a rookie, but that's the reason why he was drafted, so they have some high hopes for him. And then also the defense ended up going with the Detroit Lions, so they were pretty good last year. We'll see how good they are the rest of the year, and if not, then kickers, defense, you can always switch them out throughout the season. No harm, no foul. Whew. And the reason why you were all here, of course, I even dug out this shirt from the game yesterday. I ended up wearing it. It was in my dirty clothes bin, but maybe I might not wash it again, like how some people don't wash their lucky jerseys or whatever. But yes, USC was able to upset the number 13 team in the nation, LSU, in Vegas on Sunday night, 27-20. Pretty awesome game, even though I did end up dipping out because I just felt, it's starting to look like the old Trojans of the past couple years, especially going at the end of the third and into that fourth. And plus, I promised my family I would watch a movie, so I ended up doing that instead. But maybe it worked out because they ended up winning in the last second, so I guess I'll take it either way. But yeah, Woody Marks ended up having that game-winning touchdown run with 8 seconds left, which was great to see. Kyron Hudson-Ware had 2 crazy catches. Pretty awesome. I'm sure you'll see those in shorts on my profile pretty soon. Miller Moss had 378 yards passing with 1 touchdown as well. which was good. He's even getting some Heisman hopeful acknowledgement, which is pretty cool. Brian Kelly, the LSU coach, is pretty upset, even like slamming the table. More upset, I guess, at his players and his team and stuff compared to USC, even though they kind of think they should have beat USC. But either way, still taking this dub. Even Paul Feinbaum has been speaking crap on ESPN about USC all summer, applauded their elite effort, which I guess is good enough from him. And then two of those game day pickers on Saturday only picked USC while everybody else pretty much picked against USC, so that's obviously good to see. And then a 2026 five-star defensive lineman, Jakeem Stewart, said USC's performance was really significant in his recruiting process. And he pretty much said, I think I talked about that last week, that going into the game that whichever team performed better and I guess ended up getting the victory, then it would kind of sway him to choose that team, because he was at the game with a lot of other USC recruits as well, which I'm assuming Lincoln Riley had said after the game that he hasn't turned on his notifications from the recruits, but he's pretty sure he said it's going to be buzzing like crazy. So that's always good morale, especially on the recruiting front, especially not only for this year coming up, but the following years as well, including Jakeem Stewart, who looks like, looks like it's a pretty good push to get him. Hopefully he does end up choosing USC, and USC ends up doing well. I think they get Utah State, which is still a Division I team, just lower end, so they should dominate against them the way they were able to play here. Obviously, the defense stepped up way much compared to last year. I know there were some faults here and there. Even the guy that I assumed was going to be the main guy calling plays and all that stuff on defense, Easton Mascarenas Arnold, didn't play as much. He was kind of like out of place here and there, but Mason Cobb did step up. I mean, he looked like the Oklahoma State transfer running back how he was before coming to USC, which is good. Sometimes he was kind of flushed out, but that's just how good that LSU offensive line is. And he had basically the game-sealing interception as well to end the game, which was very fun and cool to see. So, yeah, maybe this last second of me not watching the last quarter helped them focus and end up getting this victory, but either way, I wasn't sweating it out because there was a lot of, even like that Kyron Hudson play, he made a great catch in the first half, but he made one on that last drive, which he ended up getting hit in the upper head area, like targeting area, and still made the catch, and they still added on. So that was like within like 30 seconds of the game ending, and that's why USC was able to move forward. So they were just looking at like a field goal to win the game, but then Woody Marks just, did his thing and got into the end zone. So that was even better, winning by 7 compared to 3. But yeah, definitely very happy and excited. Fantasy football team went well this weekend also, so maybe something bad is coming, but hopefully not too bad. Thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Bye on.